Right, today's project is all about replacing these shitty die cast pivots for my camera tripod. They go like that, but what the problem with them is, they've got a little groove just in here and they weaken them and they break. And you can see when I was trying to tap them out, they just kept breaking. They are very fragile. So I've got one good one and this one here. I'll be packing sand in here so I can pull it out of the sand because the parting line is just over here. Now the next job is I've got some clothes hooks. They're shitty die castings as well, and unfortunately why they break, just pointed out, is just around here is where they break, and just around here, and the reason being is because they don't have a radius there, so they are very weak. So I'm not going to reuse that one. I might just do one, but I've got a really old-fashioned clothes hook here, and it's got a nice radius around here and also around the bottom just there, so it'll be easier to cast, but also it'll be stronger as a casting. Now the first thing I've got to do, I've got to fill up this hole full of sand so I can pull it out of the sand. Get rid of the undercuts. The next step, I've got to dust some talcum powder on the sand so it'll pull out of the sand. And to make sure you give it a nice little pat like that, so the talcum powder will stick. The metal I'll be using today will be silicon bronze. It's from this book. It's PMG grade 103. We go across to here. This is the iron content, and then across to here this is the silicon content, and where I'll be getting the iron and silicon, I'll be adding ferrosilicon to the copper. And if you're interested, it's on page 156. Now because we're copying off castings, we have to cut the parting lines, and to start the process off I need to make a false cope. Now we need to dust a little bit of talc so the two halves will separate. Now this is the same deal with the camera tripod pivot. Just push it into the sand. Now this box becomes the drag, the bottom box. Light dusting of talc again. And we sieve on some sand. our fingers in here. And we just keep filling the box until it's full. And now we roll over the box. Then we'll lift off the top. Now we've got to spend a fair bit of time trimming the parting line. Now we just knock out the sand out of this one, we don't need it anymore. Now a light dusting of talc just on where we've trimmed the parting line, over here and here. Add our sprue. And we sieve on some more sand. One of these spots here is very close, the pattern is very close to the edge of the box. So I'm going to make sure I pack that in nice and well, tight, because if I don't, if it leaks, you lose the lot. Then we just keep filling up the box until it's full. Now this is the interesting part. I'll lift off the top and see how much breaks away. Yeah, a bit broke away there, but that's not much of a problem because it'll be cleaned away afterwards, file. Now we cut in the gating. And now we give them a gentle wrap. Now this one here is giving a bit of trouble. Have to do a bit of cleaning up, and you can see this one here, it's only 4mm from the edge of the box. And now we just assemble the mould. Ready to be poured. Right, I've knocked out the boxes and we'll see how the castings have turned out. Yep, there's disaster number one. That one's going to be like that. I think all of them are going to be like that. Just doesn't want to fill up the mould. Yep. Disaster number two. And disaster number three. All I can say is that F word, but I better not in public. Here are the castings. They've been cleaned up a bit. Hasn't been a total disaster. The legs for the tripod pivots, they've all come out there and there. It's just a problem with the coat hooks. And you'll see with this one here, it didn't even fill up that mould. And this one here, it did fill up a little bit better. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use one sprue to fill up one coat hook mould. And then the metal has to flow in quickly into there. What was happening with these ones, they tend to fill up the biggest mould first and then try and fill up the rest. So I'll try that method. This is the second attempt at making these coat hooks. Yep. one's turned out. That one's turned out. This one's turned out okay. And this one's turned out okay. Here we go. There's another one's turned out. And this one's turned out. I'm smiling from ear to ear. It all turns out for the good. The camera tripod has been reassembled and now it's ready to go. Here are the coat hooks, the second attempt at casting them. They've come out really nice. I've got a leftover ingot in the vise. I'll have a go at bending it and see how far it will bend before it breaks. Here I've squashed it up in the vise. It's a very ductile alloy. Still hasn't broken.